BMW N63 V8. They say the brightest fire burns the house down. BMW found out the hard way. Late 2000s. The N63 V8 wasn't just another engine. It was supposed to be the engine. Twin turbos tucked inside the V, 400 plus horsepower, acceleration that pinned you to your seat. Magazine reviewers lost their minds. Owners felt like royalty. For about 6 months. Then reality hit. That beautiful compact design turned the engine bay into an oven. Heat had nowhere to escape. And when metal cooks all day, every day it breaks. Oil consumption went insane. We're talking a quart every 800 miles. Owners adding oil weekly like it's windshield fluid. Valve stem seals melted. Turbos literally cooked themselves from the inside. Injectors failed at 50,000 miles. Carbon strangled the intake valves. BMW finally admitted defeat with customer care packages. Corporate speak for, yeah, we screwed up. They told owners to change oil every 5,000 miles instead of the advertised 12,000. Think about that. The manual you trusted? Wrong. Repair costs? $5,000 for seals, $8,000 for turbos, $3,000 for injectors. The N63 was powerful, sure, but owning one was like dating someone gorgeous who's constantly in trouble. Thrilling, exhausting, and expensive as hell. First lesson learned. Beautiful engineering means nothing if heat kills it. The silent killer. Toyota 1Z. Now let's talk Toyota, the brand Grandma trusted, the name that meant reliable, until it didn't. The 1ZZ engine looked perfect on paper, light, high revving, fun in small cars. But buried in its guts was a ticking time bomb, piston rings that couldn't do their job. Here's the nightmare scenario that happened to thousands. You're driving on the highway, family vacation, kids in the back. Suddenly, knock, knock, knock. Temperature spikes, power drops. You pull over and check the dipstick. Bone dry. But I changed the oil 3 months ago. Doesn't matter. The 1ZZ burned oil internally. A quart every 1,200 miles. With zero warning. No puddles, no smoke. Just gone. By the time you noticed, the damage was done. Scored cylinders, fried bearings, dead catalytic converter. Toyota eventually revised the pistons around 2007, but for the million engines already sold, too late. Repair costs, $3,000 to $5,000. Many engines died simply because owners trusted the Toyota name and never checked their oil. The scary part? It was quiet failure. No drama, no warning. Just a dead engine and an empty wallet. Lesson 2. Even the reliable brands stumble. The Bleeding Heart, Subaru EJ25. Subaru owners are loyal like family, almost stubbornly loyal. And the 2.5-liter EJ engine is why the internet has head gasket memes. The jokes aren't jokes, they're trauma. Early gasket materials couldn't handle the heat cycles. They failed. Coolant mixed with oil, creating a milkshake that destroyed everything. External leaks left puddles like crime scenes. Repair costs? $1,500 to $2,500 if you caught it early. Wait too long? $6,000 for a rebuild. But the head gasket wasn't even the whole story. Internally, the EJ was fragile. Oil flow to rod bearings was poor. Number 2, bearing especially. A known weak spot. Pistons couldn't handle sustained stress. The engine sounded healthy, until suddenly it wasn't. And once that knock appeared, game over. The brutal part? Many owners did everything right. Religious maintenance, synthetic oil, gentle driving, still failed. When your engine makes you nervous every time you smell coolant, that anxiety never leaves you. Lesson 3. Sometimes even perfect maintenance can't save a flawed design. The manufacturing nightmare, Hyundai Theta 200. This one's different. This was a disaster so massive it shook an entire company. The Theta 2 engine wasn't badly designed. It was badly built. During manufacturing, metal shavings were supposed to be cleaned out completely. Some weren't. Those microscopic fragments circulated through the oil system like shrapnel, embedding in bearings, scoring cylinders, blocking passages. Engine seized at highway speeds. Rods punched through blocks. One woman's Sorento died in the middle lane of Secur 85. Traffic swerving, horns blaring. No warning, just dead. A guy in California watched smoke pour from his Santa Fe at a red light. 67,000 miles. Still making payments. The reports multiplied. 10,000 complaints. Then 50,000. Then more. This wasn't rare. This was hundreds of thousands of vehicles. The recalls exploded. Over 1.9 million vehicles. Criminal investigations, lawsuits everywhere. Biggest engine recall in modern history. Hyundai stepped up eventually. Lifetime warranties, free replacements. But for those stranded far from home or just outside warranty, trust shattered. Lesson 4. One microscopic mistake can cost billions. The good enough disaster. Chevy Ecotec. L61. Chevrolet's early 2.2-liter Ecotec was built on one philosophy: keep it cheap. They succeeded, and failed spectacularly. The timing chain tensioner was garbage. Plastic guides, weak springs. Under normal use, they failed. When they did, the chain slipped. Valves met pistons, engine destroyed, without warning. Oil leaks everywhere. Valve covers, oil pans, constantly dripping. Power was pathetic. Merging onto highways felt like asking permission. Longevity? 150,000 miles was good for these engines. Meanwhile, Hondas and Toyotas were hitting 300,000. Even automotive journalists warned people away. Mechanics groaned when one rolled in, and GM knew it. The next generation? They didn't patch the L61. They scrapped it completely and started over. Sometimes an engine doesn't fail dramatically. Sometimes it just disappoints constantly. Lesson 5. Cheap solutions become expensive problems. The thirst. Nissan QG. Finally, Nissan. A brand built on reliability, on VQ engines that wouldn't quit, on Japanese engineering. The QG engines had one problem. They were thirsty. Insanely thirsty. Piston rings wore too fast. These engines burned a liter of oil every 1,000 kilometers. Some worse, every 500 miles. And the QG had tiny oil capacity to begin with, 3.4 liters total. Burn 1 liter every 600 miles and you're running dry fast. Miss one oil check, just one, and you're in danger. Miss 2 and the damage is done. Bearings starved, engines seized on highways. Others developed knocks that got louder until they wouldn't start. Nissan replaced some under warranty. Outside that window, $4,000 to $6,000 for a used engine. For a brand built on dependability, this one hurt. Lesson 6. When reliability is your promise, every failure cuts deeper. Every engine started with good intentions. Engineers innovating. Designers optimizing. But somewhere from blueprint to production, something went wrong. A flaw overlooked. A step rushed. A cost cut. A problem hidden. And once those engines reached driveways, families depending on them for school runs and road trips, the consequences multiplied. Not just money. Trust. Safety. Peace of mind. Toyota builds bad engines. BMW makes mistakes. Every brand stumbles. Oil is life. Half these failures? Lubrication issues. Check your oil. Know your consumption rate. Heat kills? Whether it's BMW's hot turbos or Subaru's boxer layout. Excessive temperature destroys components faster than anything. Manufacturing quality beats brilliant design. Hyundai's Theta 2 was well engineered, but poorly built. Good enough leads to not good at all. Chevy's economy approach created expensive disasters. These stories aren't history. These engines are still out there, still running, still failing. The lawsuits continue. The forum complaints persist. Mechanics still see them. And new stories are being written now. New engines, new problems. New promises that may or may not be kept. Let them guide your choices. Because beneath every hood, there's metal and heat and chemistry and 1,000 ways things can go right. Or catastrophically wrong. Choose wisely. Maintain religiously. And never assume a name alone will protect you. The story is told. The wisdom is yours. What you do with it, that's on you.